Did I get that? Bio. Sorry.
Okay, you got 3 minutes then.
Hopefully. All right, my name is Joshua Smith, and I'm here to speak against the funding and implementation of the Domain Awareness Center. I'd like to start with a quote from Edward Snowden. Thank you. The NSA routinely lies in response to congressional inquiries about the scope of surveillance in America. So, maybe I should direct my first questions to Councilmember Dan Kalb, who was quoted as saying he was very excited and that this system sounds good to him. Could you pay attention to me, please? Thank you. First of all, have you read the City of Oakland Domain Awareness Center Public Security Privacy Guidelines? Have you read them? Have you read them?
Sir,
do they exist? That's the question. Do they exist? What we have to address is legal authority, policy definitions, statement of purpose, operation, data storage, data usage, data sharing, safeguarding and the protection of stored data. And in regard to Snowden and the NSA leaks, are we aware that the material collected through PRISM is routinely shared with the FBI and the CIA and their program known as Team Sport? Are you sure all this information is going to stay here locally? Where's it going? Where are they getting that information? Where are they getting the biometrics from? Some of you may be aware of the FBI Next Generation Identification Program. This is going to pull all driver's license, statewide, and identification card photos into the system. All of them. Yours, everybody here. You're a suspect. Do you know the cost of the FBI Next Generation Program, identification program? It's $1 billion. So the funding of your $5 million on top of that, which that $5 million is going to the fourth largest defense contractor in the country, directly behind Boeing, Lockheed, and Northrop Grumman. You're dealing with a defense contractor, the fourth largest. It's a little nefarious. I don't know how you feel about that. Also, who are the stakeholders in the City of Oakland Domain Awareness Center? Does anybody know? Which corporations are stakeholders? Which corporations do you have memorandums of understanding with? In New York, it's the Federal Reserve. They have a seat at the table in the Domain Awareness System conference room. Also, Goldman Sachs has a designated seat at the table. Pfizer has a designated seat at the table of the Domain Awareness System. You know, this started as to be port security, and now all of a sudden it's not. You know how that works? You deal with military defense contractors. It's called mission creep. I've told you about it before. What's the scope? What's the scale? How's it going to evolve? What's it going to incorporate? I've got more time. So how about the city buses? AC Transit, you got 8 to 10 cameras and microphones on every bus.
Who's your other person?
Heather Lamastro.
You already used that. You have somebody else?
How about Open Forum? I signed up for Open Forum.
No.
No? Okay. Let's see what else I got here. How about, I'm sure you're thinking of Boston, the Boston bombing in this. Well, you know what? You need to hear this. There were 3 members of a civil support team from the United States Army 20 feet from the explosive. 20 feet. So how is your security surveillance system going to do anything when you had U.S. Army, WMD, civil support operations, 20 feet from the explosives? How did a surveillance system help?
Thank you. Your time has expired. Next speaker, please.
All right, Dan, give me the guidelines.
All right. All right. Next speaker, please. Hi, please state your name.
I'm David Colburn. I'm a District 2 resident and an ACLU member, and I was really shocked when I watched the video of the committee meeting last week that the only question about civil liberties was a joking question about, oh, they're not going to be able to look in our living rooms, are they? And, well, it was a serious question, and that means you should be even, that means you do have concerns, and you would think you would have some follow-up questions. I read the staff report. It had almost no information. We're talking about a citywide surveillance system with which they might implement facial recognition. We don't know how long this data is going to be collected. We don't know what other agencies it's going to be shared with. We don't know, they were talking about having access to it on mobile devices by OPD. Any officer, only a limited number of people. There's so many unanswered questions that you really should put a stop to this until you have some actual oversight. So, thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, City Council members, people of Oakland, and friends following on the internet. My name is Mary Madden. I'm a member of Alameda County Against Drones and a resident of Dan Cald's district. I'm here to express my opposition to the Domain Awareness Center, and I'm asking you to vote against it. I can tell you about the invasiveness of the Domain Awareness Center, ostensibly intended to protect the port. The DAC would in fact integrate city surveillance with private surveillance, and even the CCTV feeds monitoring the children in Oakland schools. How's that going to protect the port? I have no idea. Combine that with facial recognition and availability to DHS, NSA, FBI, CIA, and more, and the new and more invasive technologies that will no doubt be added in the future. I'm not going to go into that. What I want to say is that you are taking a step into history tonight. History or science fiction. In 2001, shortly after September 11th, every single member of the U.S. Senate voted for the Patriot Act. Every single senator but one was Feingold. Senator Feingold had the foresight to see what is obvious now. The Patriot Act does not keep us safe. It violates our privacy and usurps our freedom. Then in 2002, our representative in Congress, Barbara Lee, spoke for us all when she was the lone voice opposing the authorization for use of military force against Iraq resolution.
Ma'am, your time's expired.
Barbara Lee had a foresight no other Congress member had. She became one of history's heroes. For her brave stance. What will you do? Please vote no. Thank you.
Thank you.
Jesse Smith. I am wearing the hat of a PM in the tech industry. I've worked in designing surveillance technologies. And I actually don't have the same fears and concerns as a lot of people because this is not a totalitarian society. However, this is an incompetent police force that you want to hand this over to. They can't handle Twitter. They broadcast the details of their own operations this week and created security problems for themselves while asking for backup from other agencies. Now, in a meeting with Chris Bolton discussing the Mixel service as well as the compiling of a database to spy on Oakland citizens, which currently exists, I know for a fact that Sergeant Bolton's data is not secure to him. I know the different companies he chose from, and it's just a laugh. Now, if you want to give these cats a $2 million toy to play with, I'm making popcorn.
Good evening, members of the Oakland City Council. My name is Joshua Daniels. I signed up for multiple items and had them consolidated on this item. So.
Which items were those?
719 through 723.
We have a maximum of 5 minutes.
I'll take it. I'll try to stay under 5 minutes. I'll try to keep it short and sweet for your sake and for mine.
Thank you.
I was only made aware of this Domain Awareness Center when I was listening to the City Council Public Safety meeting about a week ago, and found it very troubling. For those in the gallery who aren't aware of what this entails, it's all DHS money, about $5 million of it. This phase 2, is to loop in private cameras all over Oakland from agencies such as Caltrans, MTA, NOAA, the USGS, all of the City of Oakland's cameras, all of the cameras at the Coliseum, as well as closed-circuit television cameras at City of Oakland schools. To loop all of this in, every city camera that the City of Oakland has, into a DHS system to monitor the citizens of Oakland. There's a few quick points. I'm probably not going to be very eloquent. I'll try to get through this quickly, but I want to impress upon you a few very quick things. The contractor, SAIC, that is going to be implementing this program, they've supplied very, very little data about this. They've not provided any data forecasting on how this might impact violent crime or homicides in the city. They've not given any kind of forecasting on what they're saying is the sole purpose of this, which is providing better response times for first responders. They've not provided any kind of data on that, on how this would actually help that happen, or any kind of proof of concept on that fact. There's no info on how long this data is going to be stored and where, and what agencies are going to have access to this. Second, surveillance cameras don't reduce crime. Those of you on the council that tweet, I tweeted to you a report by the ACLU of Northern California today, which had a study from UC Berkeley that studied surveillance cameras installed in San Francisco in 2005. They found no effect that these cameras had any impact on drug dealing or prostitution, no proof that they reduced violent crime or homicides at all. None whatsoever. Even in London, that has the highest proliferation of surveillance cameras in the world, about 1 camera for every dozen citizens, they found that has a negligible impact on violent crime, and the people there don't feel safer. They don't feel safer as a result of it. Number 3, this isn't about safety, this is about money. SAIC is a huge surveillance contractor, and this is what they do. This is a revolving door for the surveillance industrial complex. The DHS gives this money, SAIC takes it, and then after SAIC gets rich off the money, the people from DHS get nice cush jobs at SAIC. SAIC, the volunteer has been very good to SAIC. From 2000 to 2013, their revenues have doubled from about $5 billion to about $11 billion. They're making a lot of money doing this. Huge opportunities for abuse here too. We're talking about getting a surveillance system for the entire city over to perhaps the most abusive police force in the country. In the past 2 years, more than $60 million in settlements have been issued for, among other things, unlawful and warrantless searches and unconstitutional policing. $60 million. And earlier tonight, I wasn't aware, but I think we passed another $1.2 million for an Occupy Oakland settlement. So we're about to give a ton of money and a ton of power, a ton of opportunity for abuse to a police force that's shown that it doesn't respect the rights of its citizens. There's a huge betrayal of trust here. I mean, the very nature of government is trust. We're supposed to trust you, you're supposed to trust us. But this city, I think we can all agree, has a huge trust issue, and it's not going to be solved by spying on your citizens. Finally, I'd like to just point out there's been no debate. At the public safety meeting a week ago, there was absolutely no debate. The new council members, several of you guys were under the impression this was only for the port. When you learned it was for the entire city of Oakland, you didn't ask any questions. There was no debate. You just passed it. I think that that's just unconscionable. So I would like to leave you with a quote from Glenn Greenwald. The way things are supposed to work is that we're supposed to know virtually everything the government's doing. That's why you're called public servants. And you're supposed to know virtually nothing about what we do. That's why we're called private individuals. Thank you.